Yeah, let's close out this Anunnaki discussion and then move on to a next topic. So guys, we did part 1, part 2 and part 3 on the Anunnaki and Nibiru, true or false, fact or fiction. So I was supposed to go live last night and do this live last night, which is part 4, yeah, out of 4. This is going to be the conclusion. So I'm going to give it a minute to warm up, get myself a drink to wet my mouth, and I'm going to go through the rest of these bullet points that I didn't manage to get through in part 3. Yeah, and as I said in the other ones, if you you haven't seen the prior parts 1, parts 2 and parts 3, you can find them on our YouTube channel at TZT Book Mafia. So you can watch all the lives on our TZT Book Mafia page if you don't happen to catch them live here. But now we're going to go ahead with part 4, the Anunnaki and Nibiru, true or false, fact or fiction. So 2 minutes and I'm going to take off on this. Yeah, I got some water, yeah. So let's crack on with this mouth-watering discussion and get down to the conclusion, the meat and potatoes of it. First, let me offer up the affirmation as always. Pa istafbat, anuki fi pa ashuk shil kolum, wakul ashuk kalun fi ni, anuki farogun shil kolum, wakul kalun farogun shil ni, anuki wahed ka kolum, wakul kalun wahed ka ni. Nuk aikilu anjihu kama farogun shil kolum, wakub kama fariyudun. Nuk aikilu akwenu kuldek nuk akfuzi fi kolum, kama tawul kama kafuzi kanun liya amidu fi kolum. Anuki kabaha wahud, kolum kalun anuki, kolum yakul nuk aikilu, kolum dora nuk abmilu. Okay, I'm from for all. So I said the affirmation. I am in the love of all and all love is in me. I am a part of all and all is a part of me. I am one with all and all is one with me. I can succeed as a part of all and fail as an individual. I can be all I wish in all as long as my wish is to stay in all. I am never alone. All is, I am. All can, I can. All does, I do. Okay, so the last time, let me recap you. In part 3, we went over how the word Anunnaki is not the name of a specific species of extraterrestrials or aliens, whatever you want to call them. The word Anunnaki is not a name, it's a title. It's a title like the word human. Human is not the name of a species of any of us. It just says we're humans. So when you say Anunnaki, it's not really telling you what species it is. It's just telling you that this being does not come from inside of this known world. It doesn't come from inside these ice walls. It doesn't come from this known world. It comes from either outer space, if you want to believe in the outer space, or it comes from beyond the ice walls. So it's an extra being on Earth. So Anunnaki is just another way of saying that. It means those who Anu sent to Earth from the heavens, or those who from Earth, those who came to Earth from heaven. That's basically what it means. So it could be a grey, it could be an insectoid, it could be a reptilian, it could be a humanoid ET, it could even be a rock that's not supposed to be here, that's come from somewhere else. That's an Anunnaki, or an alien, or an extraterrestrial. An extra on Terra, which is Earth, astral, from the astral or from beyond the ice walls, however you want to see it. to me it's the same thing. We were speaking about the Yahweh hands and the 24 elders. I'll speak a bit more about that in this part here, and the brotherly rivalry between Enki, the Lord of the earth, and Enlil, his younger brother, who became the Lord of the command. First, Enki, the word means Lord of the earth, or some people say, because some people say Enlil means Lord of the command, but really it means Lord of the sky. Ki means earth, Lil means sky. Because the commands was a spaceport thing and it was dealing with the skies, some people translate it Lord of the command, but it's really Lord of the sky. You understand? So Enki was the Lord of the earth, Enlil was the Lord of the sky, Anu was the Lord of the high heavens. You understand what I'm saying? This is how they split it into three. This was the original Trinity in ancient Babylon or ancient Sumeria, Akkad, in the Hittite nations and all of them Assyrian nations from before we ever had any Bibles or any Torahs or any Qurans or Abrahamic faiths, churches and all of that type of bollocks. This is how the ancient people used to view this Anunnaki stuff. That was where this religious Abrahamic, whether it's the Catholic Church, whether it's your rabbis, yeah, and the Sanhedrin and the Levite priesthood, who is really just the same Babylonian priesthood. You understand, whether it's in Kemet when they come up with their cult of Isis and cult of Osiris, it's the same. This is where they just refined it all and said, listen, in one of the resets, this is too powerful. We're going to have to like weaken it down. So now you only got Islam, Judaism, Christianity. Anything else, you're a pagan. Sometimes you could be burned at the stake or whatever. But all this is going back to the original Anunnakis. And like I told you, these beings that came from, well, they're not from here anyway. Like how we're born here. They're not born here. They came from beyond, from other worlds. Let's just use that word there. So they were worshipped as deities, gods, because they came here and interfered and cloned animals and put things into being. We're going to get a bit more into that. We spoke about Anu in the high heaven and his two wives, how one of them was a Vulcan queen, an Alpha Draconian queen. That's Enki's mum. So Enki wasn't a full Anunnaki. He was a half-breed Vulcan reptilian. And we spoke about how his family was native to Earth, his species of reptilians, and how they was the ones telling the story in pieces of the story in Genesis 1, when it says, and the Lord, Spirit of the Lord hovered over the waters and the surface of the earth was void. Yeah, it was just water. It was a reptilian planet. You understand what I'm saying? And we spoke about how there was more than one war in the heaven. The old Galactic Republic, the devil has a father, and his name was Zuen and Humbaba. We spoke about all of that stuff from off the Sumerian tablets. I think it was 2 hours long, that last live. I'm not going to tarry so long today, yeah? We also spoke about Enki's wife, who was one of these earth-based reptilians who were agreeable reptilians. They were vegetarians. They didn't really interfere in none of that type of stuff. They weren't like the Alpha Draconians of Mother Hubbard. We spoke about the creation of the Draconians and that, but I want to speak about the reptilians separate because it's better, because it's a lot of stuff to talk about. Okay, what else did we speak about? We spoke briefly about the Earth Project, yeah, to make a peace treaty, which is us humans, original organic humans with the 23 chromosomes. We'll open up that a bit more. We mentioned the Pleiades and different constellations that was mentioned in the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 9, and the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 9, which speaks about all these stars, different stars in different constellations, okay? And the word heaven itself, coming from the Aramaic word kisil in the Aramaic, yeah? That's the ancient Hebrew, and that means the Orion skies, and they're using Orion for heaven. So when they're speaking about this heaven, where everybody thinks it's just some cloud, and some big fat bigot God is sitting down there, apathetic to poor people dying and innocent people dying and stuff. No, heaven means haven, yeah? And haven is a place where ships come to harbor. That's where they park themselves. So we're talking about spaceships and stuff, motherships, mothercrafts, NIBIRUs and all of that kind of stuff, okay? We also spoke about what is the purpose of God and the role of the Most High. Notice I didn't really give you the answer. I left it open. Hopefully y'all can put on the feed what you think. What's the purpose of God? Have you ever asked that to your religious leader, to your pastor or your rabbi or your imam, or even to yourself? If everything's got a purpose, these leaves have got a purpose. The plant breathes through these leaves. You understand what I'm saying? It's not for nothing. So therefore, if everything in creation has a purpose, does God have a purpose? If so, what is it? And if no, because he's outside of creation, then that says more about God than it doesn't. You understand? what else did we speak about? The time period, how the crash of Nibiru happened 24 billion years ago, and assisted panspermia happened because germs rubbed off a Nibiru onto the planets that it smashed off onto. And that bacteria, algae, fungi and bacteria, went into the seas. And so it combines with the nitrogen and the sunlight and the water and stuff. And so you get a different type of being evoluting on the planet from this alien DNA. It happens all the time through what's called solar bombardment. We get particles that's not from here that is supposedly dropping on Earth. They say that we know there's a dome there, but we know that there's cross-contamination from the different beings that come here and stuff. Anyway, when Nibiru caused this accident, there was what's called panspermia, yeah? And then you get assisted panspermia, where an intelligence causes this shit. It's not just an accident, panspermia. It's assisted panspermia. There's an intelligence behind it. So that happened 24 billion years ago and resulted in what's called genus Homo. We crawled out of the waters as a water being, as genus Homo. And then being in the sun, it pulled us upright. So now you become Homo erectus. It's not no Darwinism. Darwinism's a false science about natural selection. No, it's intelligent design. And it was done by way of the Anunnaki, whether deliberately or by accident. It's all done by the Anunnaki. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we were speaking about that, how that came out as protozoa, single-celled organisms, and then it switched to, it grew into multiple-cell organisms, metazoa, and then the most advanced species crawl out of the water as what they call the genus Homo, and then it changed into Homo erectus. And then that's when Enki and them jumped in and said, hold on, you know, when we crashed 24 billion years ago, there's beings on this planet that's related to us. So to make this slave, we don't even have to start from scratch. What we can do is we can use the being that's already here and just graft our image onto that being by playing with the chromosomes, yeah? So let's go a bit into that, because hopefully my battery holds out, yeah? First of all, I want you to understand two different things about Eva. The most powerful Eva is called 9 Eva, because 9 is the most highest number. After 9, there's no more numbers. After 9, you get a 1 and a 0. And that makes 10. So it's a composite number. It's not even a number no more. It's two numbers that are already there, 1 and 0. And then you get 1 and 1, 11. Then you get 1 and 2, 12. 1 and 3, 13. So the highest number, single digit, is 9. So when you're talking about the ether or the black matter, the highest form of Eva is 9 Eva. And that's a combination, of all existing conscious and conscience gases. That means these are intelligent thinking gases. You understand? And gas is the same as spirit. So these spirit force gases are thinking and intelligent. Do you understand? And so in the 9 Eva, these gases formulate and make what's called plasma, or what we call liquid fire. And from the plasma, you get what's called your first matter, or your luminiferous matter. And from matter, things are molded or manifest into this physical plane. So you get 9 Eva, which is the combination of all existing gases, the 9 noble gases and the lot of them, all combined into one force called 9 Eva. And that force is the most powerful force in existence in the universe, you understand? And it goes about creating things. It goes about creating dimensions and creating worlds on the whim of the divine mind. The divine mind uses this 9 Eva, who in Egypt was called Hu, He. If you turn that around, you can get Yahweh, because the vowels in ancient languages is interchangeable. So you can see deliberately where they got Yahweh from. They just turned around the Hu, He, Hua, yeah, which is He who is. And they tell you Yahuwah is the name of God in the Bible, yeah, Yahuwah, Yahuwah Elohim. And they say, oh, it's He who is who He is. They got that straight from Egypt, from this same 9 Eva science. Now, over time, 9 Eva doing its creation, yeah, and shedding parts off and making worlds and making all the things in the mind of God, it loses some of its power, its force. And so it dies down into 6 Eva. Now 6 Eva is the polar opposite. Whereas 9 Eva will go around creating life, yeah, 6 Eva is the opposite force in Mother Nature, which creates destruction. So to keep the balance, 6 Eva will start destroying stuff. So where 9 Eva creates, 6 Eva destroys. And over time, while 6 Eva's destroying, that loses force as well. And while 6 Eva's losing force now, it turns back into 9 Eva. And the wheel of life, or the cycle of life, is started again. But when it switches back from 6 Eva into 9 Eva, it produces what's called ghost Eva, or free Eva. So from the first cycle, 9 Eva, where everything was being created, the highest form of intelligent beings created from the 9 Eva solar cycle is black people. And then you get to the 6 Eva cycle, and the next people created highest intelligence is Asian people, yeah, or Mongoloids, yeah. And then when you go through the lunar cycle or the moon cycle, the ghost Eva, you get pale people or white people. And the 3 of them have different natures and different powers and different possibilities. In school, you were told we're all the same. And we started in the cave with a loinskin cloth only 6,000 years ago. Even though the earth has been going on for 24 billion years and had different ages of shit going on, you're telling me we skip out more than 23 million years of history, of our history, 23 billion years of our history, and we only focus on 6,000 years, the last 6,000 years. That's where history starts from, 4004 BC. That history means his story. The last one to come here, which is the white people. You understand? It's his story, and he only started reading and writing for 6,000 years ago, in 4000 BC. So he starts history from when he, not us, when he learned how to read and write. We was already reading and writing and recording our story and having philosophy and civilizations and cosmology and quantum physics and algebra, the whole shit. The 7 liberal arts, music, psychedelic drugs, all of it. Aliens, all of the shit. You understand? And only 6,000 years ago in Greece, they started recording and writing their story. So, yo, this is our story. You understand? So you get 9 Eva and 6 Eva, and you get 2 beings with different natures. And that's why we'll go around and saying, hold on, how come the Caucasians, no disrespect, but they can just kill without no reason? They can kill for fun, for sport, because they coming from the 6 Eva. That's the pinnacle of the forces of death and destruction in Mother Nature. How come the Egyptians could build all them pyramids and do all this, all them black people? Because you're the pinnacle of life, of the life force, the life-giving force in Mother Nature. That's why you gave the world science, and you gave the world teaching, and you gave the world pyramids and shit. So much so that they had to hide your contribution and say, yo, aliens did it. It weren't you guys who did it, black people. Aliens built it. Yeah? Anyway, let's go on. So you have blue bloods and red bloods, yeah? Now the greys, they were first created by the agreeable Anunnaki. So the Riskians, the black gods, yeah? And they were created as explorers, yeah? And so the main greys are real organic beings. But these real greys now, they don't just come here on themselves. This atmosphere affects them. So they built little 4-foot robots, yeah? With the spacesuit on. Even the eyes, that's not really their eyes. It's a spacesuit. And they're the gophers. That they come into worlds and explore. Yo, what minerals are here? Okay, we got gold, we got water, we got this. And the way their suit is built, they can withstand this atmosphere and many other different atmospheres. So the real guys that are 7 foot tall, them tall, slender ones, there's only a few of them left too, because they dying out. Yeah, they don't have to jeopardize themselves and come here. They got the gophers, yeah. But we built them first, us black people, to send out after Tarnish, the reptilians attacked us on our planet Risk in Iluin behind Orion in the high heavens. When we was attacked in this first war, yeah, Revelation 12 verses 7 to 9, yeah, a lot of us, like I said, became diaspora species. We lost our planets, we lost our suns, meaning our sun and our planet, we lost it. Now we have to go and look for a new home or live on the Nibiru. Many of us became diaspora species. Our elders sent out a lot of explorers to go and explore new temporary homes till we could come up with a solution. Those are the greys. Many different species of them. They were given the task to go and find out which planets had the resources that we needed, like the gold. So they came here to Earth and many other planets and found the gold. And when they did what we built them to do, we freed them as the humane black people we are. We're like, yo, you man are G's. Yo, you man can have your freedom and that. So we set them free. And they made their own empires. They had 72 peaceful empires all over this bitch. You understand? Until the reptilians came and conquered all 72 empires. Yeah? And then hybridized these greys. Yeah? And so they made their own version of this grey who's aggressive. One of the greys has 4 fingers. One of the greys has 3 fingers. I can't remember which one it is, but one of them's good and one of them's evil. The good ones are called Ramadians. We built them. They're peaceful. They don't have no beef with humans. The other ones are called Markabians. They're different. They're more like a reptilian. You can see it on them. And they abduct people and conduct experiments and all of that shit. Well, both of the sides do, even the good side. Because like I said, they're a dying species, and we'll get to why. Yeah, they're a dying species, so they have to have this human hybrid program to try and extend their existence. But we'll get to that. Let me get past the grays. Yeah, so okay, we're getting to it now. Fertility is the key when you're dealing with religion, God, the Bible, aliens. It's all to do with fertility. And like how I said, when man was created, we were created compatible with all of these species, and we're super fertile. We're more fertile than the tall whites, we're more fertile than reptilians, we're more fertile than the greys. We're just as fertile as the Riskians, the black gods, because we come directly from them. So we have their telomeres and their chromosomes, even though we have some of them short, like they have 25 pairs. We only have 23, I'll get to that. Fertility is the key. And that's why in Genesis 6, verses 1 to 7, and when it's telling you there were giants on the earth them days, and the Nephilim came down, the sons of God, Banna Elohim, came down and raped these human women, because it's fertility. Yo, we can breed with these women, or we're going to die out. They can give us the best chance of surviving, of continuing our lineage, yeah? Because fertility and life was in the hands of these Riskians. All these aliens ain't mastered life, yeah? Only certain ones have that advanced science and medics and technology where they've conquered death. They hold fate in their hands. Like if you go to the Gilgamesh story, when Enlil's telling Gilgamesh, I'm not giving you eternal life. We don't want to give men eternal life. That's basically what this Yahweh Enlil is saying. No, you're not. It's not written for you to have eternal life. You have to die like a mortal. They told this to Gilgamesh. And you read many times in the ancient tablets how Enlil and Ninti or Ninursag, they decree fate, how long you're going to live. It's up to them. They decide how long you're going to live. A bee doesn't like, I must be too close to his yard. They do that sometimes. Yeah, you understand? So they decree fate. They hold fate in their hands. There's certain species, they're dying out, not just the greys. Pleiadians, you can say they're about the tall whites, who are really Aldebarans. They're only about half as fertile as human women. Do you understand? And they don't really get an erection and stuff easy. They have to really like go in, like do some freaky stuff and come and spy on us. They watch us having sex as humans, spy on us and tape it and put it on a little chip and go back to their craft and put it in and beat off to it in a cup and that, and use that to go and fertilize each other and that. I'm only giving the truth. I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm telling you how it really is. That's why they're called the watchers. They're not just watching us just because they want to. They're perverts. They're watching us because a lot of them, it's about fertility. You understand? And it's about how a lot of them whacked out their facility. They sexed themselves out. And then they started using cloning and stuff and lost their sexual organs and stuff in the case of the greys. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a vested interest in man because of fertility, or I should say in woman because of fertility and the mtDNA, especially when you're talking about black woman who's got the Eve gene, who can make every different human on the planet. It's in her genes. She's the only woman that can do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's all about fertility. So certain gods, it's so important, this fertility issue, that they broke the Most High's law. They literally said, yo, F the Most High. We're going down there and snatching up these women and we're breeding them and we're just going to deal with it. We're just going to have to face the consequences. All of us are going to stand together, yeah? 200 of them came down on Mount Hermon, these Nephilims, and they had agreeable and disagreeable children. And these children became the heroes of renown, the classical heroes like your Hercules and your Gilgamesh and your Jason and the Argonauts and Perseus, and all of these people was real historical people. All legends are built on a certain little speck of truth. If you shred away all the bullshit, you'll get to the truth of it. You understand what I'm saying? So, and also like King Gilgamesh, who's a real confirmed historical figure, who's got monuments all the way into Iran and all over the world. That bastard, this guy stood about 17 foot tall. He used to hold lions in his arm and just broke up the lion and dash it like it's a cat and that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Gilgamesh. And it was his mum who was the Anunnaki. So because I said of the woman's DNA, the mtDNA, he weren't even half Anunnaki. Because it was the other way around, it was his mum. He was considered 2/3 Anunnaki and only 1/3 human. And that's why I was like, yo, how come I gotta die like a human? I'm 2/3 God. I wanna live forever like the gods. You understand? And went on his whole quest. If you haven't read the Epic of Gilgamesh, you're slipping, especially if you're all up in the Bible and going on like the Bible's something really real, and you haven't been familiar with the NIBIRU, the tablets of creation, 7 tablets, yes. That's where they got their 7 days of creation from. The 7 tablets of creation, NIBIRU, that means when on high, when the ANUNNAQI, even before they came here. You understand what I'm saying? And the tablet of Etana, or Astrahasis, the real Noah, Utnapishtim. We need to be familiar with these stories and give them to our children. Otherwise, they're just going to inherit the same confusion that we've had with all this religious nonsense. Yeah? So some of these gods started to say, yo, we're not gods on our earth. Like I said in the last live, they have energy beings higher than them who are the gods on their world. They're not the gods on their world. But down here, or on earth, they can say, yo, I'm God, worship me. Look, I can give you eternal life, I can clone, I've got flying machines. People started worshipping these beings. You understand? They wouldn't know no better. They're like, yo, these beings made us. You understand? They educated us. We're going to worship them as God, like the Almighty God. None of them are the Almighty God. Whether it's Enki, Enlil, Yahweh, Ishtar, Osiris, Osiris, none of these are the Most High God. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's Ra who is the Most High God. It's in your book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 14. Yeah, it's in Psalms 82, verse 1, as the El Elyon, the Most High. There's only one Most High. But certain disagreeable natured gods came down here and took the opportunity and said, yo, I'm the Elyon. I'm the Most High. Yo, call me Yahweh, innit? Yo, let's make this religion, okay, Judaism. Yo, listen, you can't worship none of these other Anunnakis except me. I'm jealous, mate. If you do that, I'm going to burn you in a fire forever. You understand? Or they do it, yo, Muslims, yo, I'm none of sin. Yo, you call me Allah, and none of you can see me. I don't want none of you to see me, yeah? But I'm God anyway, yeah? And you bear witness to me. How can you bear witness to something you can't see? But Muslims say they bear witness to Allah, but they can't see Allah. You try and go to court and tell the judge, yo, I seen something, but I didn't see it. But I still bear witness to it. No, if you bear witness to something, you have to be able to see it. Wake the fuck up. Open your eyes. You understand what I'm saying? So all these little small fry Anunnakis, sons of Enlil and sons of Enki, in a war with each other and rivalry, fighting over humans and earth and the resources. It's like beef. Yo, you lot can't worship that side. You can't call on Amun. Them niggas is pagans. Them niggas is the devil. And then over this side, they say the same thing. Yo, don't call on no Yahweh in them. Them niggas is the devil. Yeah? And so we're all confused as pawns in the middle in these religious games. Yeah? So Yahweh is Enlil. And Tammuz, yeah, was known as the Messiah. Yeah? The son of Ishtar and Dumuzi, the Messiah with the lamb on his shoulders and shit. That's the fucking Yahawashi. Yeah? So you have Yahuwah or Yahweh and Yahawashi throughout the Bible. And you thinking this God is a good God. Oh, God's all loving. So why did God flood out the world then? Why does God kill babies? Yeah? Why is God punish Adam and Eve? Did he not know that Adam and Eve was going to sin? I thought you said God was all-knowing. So if God's all-knowing, did he know that Adam and Eve was going to break the law and not follow the law? And whether you say yes or no, that says a lot about your God. Because let's say yes, God knew that Adam and Eve was going to sin. Okay. Why didn't he prevent it? Isn't he all-powerful? Why did he need to see them make the mistake that he knew they was going to make and then punish them for eternity, forever? I'm going to punish you forever and kick you out the garden because I knew you was going to do that and I never told you nothing. I never even warned you about the devil or nothing. You understand? What kind of parent is that? That's like a psychopath. And then go and talk behind man's back. Yo, look, my man's became like one of us. He's become a god. You know that? Now he's going to try and take from the tree of life. You know what? Let's block him from the tree of life and kick him out the garden. You understand what I'm saying? And God's a liar. Because God said, listen, if you eat from that tree of life, yeah, of the tree of good and bad, you're going to die. And Eve ate the shit and she's still alive. She didn't die. So God's a liar. And most of us don't get it. It's going to trigger a lot of people. They're going to say, what, is this guy going to say the devil's good? No, they're the same. God and the devil, they're all these false Anunnakis. With a scheme, yo, you play good cop, I'll play bad cop, yeah? And we'll just corner these humans and have them worshipping, oh, yo, save me, Jesus, Yahweh, Allah. All this shit on earth's just going on. And they're like, look at these clowns. They really fell for this shit. And some of you get offended. You know Allah is real. Allah is the only God in the world. Allahu Akbar. You're willing to blow a fucking block up. What kind of dumb shit is that? Huh? You get the Christians doing the same thing. Oh, Jesus. No one can't even find this hippie. Find me his comb. Fuck the Shroud of Turin. That's some bullshit. Find me Jesus' chair. How about that? Because I can find King Tut shit. And he way older than this Jesus character. I can find like Osiris's shit then. In Abydos. Yeah, the Osirion. This shit going back 10,000 some odd years. I can find that dude. My dude. Yeah? But I can't find this Jesus. Where is he? That's just the other day. Yo, where's this Moses guy? That's just the other day. Where? None of them. They're composite characters. It's false. It's a spell. Religion is from the word religiere, to bind, to spell bind you, to keep you in mind control. Where do you think all the problems of the world came from? We're Christians and everyone's an infidel. Let's go on a crusade and just kill everything. We're even killing Christians. We're killing everything in the name of God. Muslims did the same. Let's run up out of Arabia, yeah, because now we're all enlightened. Instead of spreading some enlightenment to the world, let's just kill everything and put everyone in slavery. Allahu Akbar. Huh? The fuck is that? And today we still follow these things religiously, like spellbound. Nobody want to do the work. Someone like me come along and explain this shit. They're like, yo, where did you get this information from? You get okay. Where did you get this from? And I understand, though. I understand. But yeah, Yahweh Enlil, he was jealous of his brother Enki. I told you that in part 3. So he ended up taking over the program because at that time both of them were disagreeable. And Enki was doing a lot of evil, a lot of bad shit, like wearing the gold and not shipping the gold to Nibiru and making all these human wives and mixing his DNA without sitting in the council. He's going against the council on a whole bunch of occasions. So they was like, yo, we need to reprimand him. He was summoned back to the Nibiru. That's why these Aztecs and Olmecs and that said, yo, this Quetzalcoatl, Enki, the nigga just got off one day and said, listen, I'm going to be back. Yeah, I got to go, nigga. And he got off. And they said, yo, he's going to come back. And they've been watching ever since, every 25,920 years, great cycle. They say, bastard, the nigga ain't returned for his gold. They had his gold sitting there because he was hiding off the gold, him and Alalu, for themselves. They weren't sending it back. So these Native Americans, they've been sitting on that gold. They were building cities out of it and shit. Kingdoms of gold, you get man. These niggas in Europe heard about it. They was like, yo, we need to go and find this El Dorado, this city of gold and shit down. Yeah? They even found a couple of them. Yeah? In Lake Titicaca and shit. Cities of gold floating in a lake, bigger than London and that. Come on, man. So when Yahweh Enlil inherited the project, he had a disagreeable agenda against humans, and he's a flesh eater. He even tells you, I love the smell of burning flesh. Sacrifice me that sheep and burn it, yeah? Ooh, I love the aroma of that burning flesh. Who does that other than a flesh eater? A reptilian. That's like you when you're smelling your food, like, yo, and you're ready, your appetite starts churning. Yo, damn, this smells nice. This is, God's telling you this in the Bible. Most of you can't read it. You're stuck in English, and you're stuck in that pastor on the pulpit. You understand? So that's how you summon the gods. It says to summon the gods, chop up a couple animals. Remember, God said, thou shalt not kill. But to kill for him, it's okay. Yo, kill them animals and burn them, yeah? Summon the gods. Yo, kill 100 sheep and burn them bastards. And you're going to see them gods start coming around like flies. Yo, yeah, man, what blessing do you want? I'm ready to eat niggas. Yo, God is a flesh eater. Yo, your pastor's not going to tell you this. Most of them don't even know. The rabbi's not going to tell you, neither is the imam. These reptilians have been running this realm. And we trying to hold on to religion. No, not religion. Everything's fake except religion, right? Oh, your Christianity's so real. Jesus is so real. Nigga, Jesus is 23 years late. If you said he was going to come back in the new millennium, nigga, the new millennium was 23 years ago. This nigga must have some old technology or one of them old crafts or something, because he ain't here yet. Where is God? When's he coming? Where's he been so long? Why do innocent people die? Why did God create the devil? Yahweh says in Genesis 3, and the serpent was the most subtle being that God created. Why did God create evil? God created evil. You go into the book of Isaiah, God says, I create evil and good. It's good cop, bad cop. God's killing whole first nations of firstborn. I'm going to kill all the firstborn in Egypt just because of Pharaoh. You telling me there's no one in Egypt who's good? Not one of them babies was an innocent, good, promising child. You're just going to kill all of them just because to prove a point to Pharaoh. Yeah? And you saying you worship this God? This ain't my God. You understand what I'm saying? This is a fraud. So Enlil and them played with our telomeres. They said, yo, they're not having the tree of life. Take them out of the garden and let's dumb them down. So that was a reset. Right in Genesis 3:22. Go and read it. It says, look, now the man has become like one of us. And now, least he shall reach for the tree of life and eat of that too and live forever. Bastard, we're scared of that. Because if he's just like us and knows all of this shit and is living like a god, if he lives forever, then we're no different than him. They don't have to worship us no more. They on our level. They don't want you to, God don't want you to be on his level. That's what this is about. Most of you deny it. Because you have never studied the Bible like I'm giving you this lashing here. I'm lashing you niggas. Yeah, and if you have, if I'm chatting shit, put it in the comments. Let me dismantle what you're saying. Because you know I'm talking the truth. You understand? God is a bigot. And he don't want humans to have eternal life or to have any empowering knowledge of who and what we really are. Now, let's get to the meat and the potatoes. They changed our chromosomes by playing with the telomeres. The telomeres are right at the bottom piece of the X chromosome. And if you play with them, tweak them, you can shorten the lifespan or increase the lifespan. Our original lifespan was 7,000 years in this one body. And with all the plants and stuff that we had around us, we probably live another 10, 20,000 years on top of that. You understand? That's where we was going on the original trajectory before Enlil and them ruined it and reversed the telomeres, and now we're dead at 70 and shit. The blink of an eye. But even in the start of the Bible, Adam and them, they already under 1,000. They died, I think it's Methuselah who's the longest living human according to these Abrahamic scriptures. And they say he lived 960 years, so he didn't even make 1,000. The story starts and we're already on the decline. Next, the next one lives to like 913, and then 886, and then 716, and then 600, all the way down to Abraham, 150, and then 120, and then it gets locked there. And Leo Yahweh in the Torah says, yo, man shall not live more than 120 years, because he's not just spirit, he's flesh as well. I'm going to lock you in this little shit contract. Blink of an eye, you're gone. Work you to death from the time you reach the adult. You're at work, and then you reach retirement, and your back's out, your knees are out, your old ass can't even enjoy life no more. Next! Yeah? And we accept that. And we wonder why the world's like this. And all these corporations and organizations, these are working with the Anunnaki to keep this chicken farm running like this. This is not the full world. This is a chicken farm. This is our cage. You understand? They played with the telomeres and shut down our lifespan. So by Genesis 4:26, remember I said Genesis 3:22, Yahweh's got a problem with man being like him. And he shuts man down, yeah? And stops us from eating from the tree of life. And you know they dumbed us down, because by the time you get to Genesis 4:26, and we get to the story of Enos, who is the son of Seth, who is the son of Adam, Enos now, yeah, he's calling on God. He's calling on this being outside of himself. It says, and then man began to call on the name of the Most High. So before Genesis 4:26, there was no form of worship in the Bible. If I'm wrong, any Christian, Muslim or Jew, put it in the comments, yeah? There's no worship in the Bible until Genesis 4:26. You go and check it out. And remember what I said, Genesis 3:22, that's Enlil dumbing us down and denying us from living longer. They locked us in this shit life. That was a reset. So by Genesis 4:26, the reset's complete. Bastard, this man's dumb now. He's just in religion. He's calling on this Yahweh. Oh, God, help me. I'm nothing. I can't do shit no more. I'm no longer in the image of God. Yeah? 4 higher senses are gone. Intuition, clairvoyance, telepathy, psychometry. 4 of our 9 senses have gone. Stripped down to these 5 senses. Dumbed down. Some primitive man. You get me? Now we seeing divinity outside of ourselves. Where before time, we was walking around in Egypt like, yo, I'm a god, rude boy. This is my goddess. Yeah, I got psychometric powers, intuitive powers. I do alchemy, nigga, I can levitate. Yeah, they shut you down and told you, oh, that's pagan. The church, the mosque, yeah, the synagogue, that's pagan. You're going to go to hell. Nah, man. So they played with our telomeres, yeah, because they knew we are the walking peace treaty. That's what we were built for, to make a reconciliation. When they made this galactic council, this galactic federation, they said, okay, let's make a being that seals this, that this peace treaty, that represents that we've come to a point where we're never going to have this again. So each one of you contribute some of your genetics, and we're going to put them all together, and we're going to a being that represents this. We're also going to use the same being to mine the gold that we need. Everyone's going to be happy. And then at the end of the project, we're going to free this being. And this being is going to be taught ascension, not worship. That's a reptilian thing. Religion and worship, God this, God that. We know who the Most High is. The Most High don't need you to worship him. He don't need nothing from you. Just like the Prime Minister don't need you to vote for him. Or he don't need nothing from you. He's the fucking Prime Minister. You understand what I'm saying? But they trapping us in worship. When the Anunnaki, the good ones, the Dinga, the Elohim Diner, they would, like Enki, when he changed over, they was teaching us ascension. Forget worship. When you hear in the Bible, oh, and I seen the angel of God at Anunnaki, and the prophet fell down and prostrated, the angel's going to say, yo, what you doing, man? Get up. He's going to say, yo, I'm a servant of the Most High, just like you are servant of the Most High. Nigga, I come to give you a message. Get your ass up. You understand? You ain't never seen in the Bible or Quran or Torah where someone falls down to one of these gods or angels and they say, yes, worship me, I'm God. Yo, they don't do that. They tell you, yo, get your ass up, man. What you doing? You do that to Elyoin for Elyoin. Yeah, the spirit that's in you, me, and all of us, the Most High. Yeah, Genesis 2, chapter 7. And God breathed his spirit into man and man became a living soul. Yeah, that Most High, that's the only God that you worship. Yeah, you yourself are a God because you have the spirit of the Most High in you, animating you. So does this plant. Everything does. You understand? We don't have to be worshipping gods like flesh and blood beings. No. Yeah, all we have to do is acknowledge the hierarchy of the heavens and the natural order of things and the divinity within yourself and find your divine self, your best self, yeah, your good self. Bring your higher self over your animal self. Humans right now are running off the animal self. Sex, lust, pleasure. You understand what I'm saying? So the Riskians are the controllers of life. They put the project together, and they're the ones who had the 8 Riskian scientists who were residing over this initial project. Yeah, Enki and them. Yeah, Ninti and them. And as I said, Enki used some of his own genes, and there was 22 other species who contributed their genetics to make what we're calling the modern human. You understand what I'm saying? So we're compatible with all 23 of them Anunnaki species. They've been coming here and having their own human program, human hybrid program. And like I said, there's 3 natures, yeah? You got agreeable, disagreeable, and neutral. So at first when this started, everyone was on board. Okay, we're going to do this. And then people start falling out, just like humans. They say, fuck this, we're splitting off and doing our own thing. So 1/3 split off and became the Galactic Republic. And that's your reptilians in them, Tarnish and Halal in them, Lucifer in them, and Leal in them. Yo, we're doing our own thing, man. We're not down with this human project bullshit. We want to eat them as food. It's better to just use them as food and rah. Enki and them are like, nah, these are our children. We're going to free them. These are, you understand, they're going to ascend. These are high beings and rare. And then you got neutrals, like, yo, what's in it for me? Okay, I'm going to rock with you. Yo, what? Nah, I'm going to rock with my man. They can switch sides because then they really don't give a shit. You understand? So from that neutral, you get Ashtar Command, the tall whites who are like, yo, let's go and see what we can get out of this shit, man. You got the galactic thing and you got the Galactic Republic. We're not joining none of them, nigga. We neutral. What's in it for us? Tell us what's in it for us and we might join your side. So there's always 3 natures as to what I was telling you. So you got the Galactic Federation, the original of life, like life, living, yeah? And then you got the Galactic Federation of light, like sunlight, light. That's a false council. That's your Ashtar Command, the neutrals, yeah? And you can't trust them. They will feed your ass to the reptilians, I'm telling you, yeah? And then you got the Galactic Republic, which is the reptilians in there. So when you hear people talking about, oh, the Galactic Federation, ask them which one, nigga? Because we can't be vague no more. We have to be vivid. People think just because they know about the Galactic Federation, that's enough. That's vague. Which one are you talking about? You could be talking about some niggas trying to get you on a ship because they taking you as food to feed their lords, because that's their contract. Yo, if you don't want to be eaten, Find me somewhere else to be eating. Okay, I know perfect place where I can find people that can replace meat. So I'm going to go to earth and say, yo, I'm here to help you. Yeah, man, come with me. Love and light. Yeah, new age. Yeah. Give you to the reptilians, you Ross. You understand? But they can't take your soul till you're dead. That's why they put you in this religion, so that you give yourself, and God and man started calling on the name of a Yahweh. You're giving your divinity to some other being, so that when you're dead, they're like, yo, you gave up your soul, nigga. I'm taking that shit. I'm going to eat you. I'm eating your loose, your plasmic energy. This is how these beings are. They're parasitic. They feed off us. Men and women bleed plasmically as well, you know. Just like we get cut and we bleed, your aura can get cut, yeah? And you bleed in plasma. And so different disagreeable entities, they feed off that plasma. They eat it. They latch onto you like a parasite. And they make your life what it is. They influence depression and hate and evil and jealousy and drugs, alcohol. Yo, so you're just leaking. So they just spend the whole time just feeding off you. People thought David Icke was crazy when he used to tell them this kind of stuff in the 90s. You understand? It's real, man. So the purpose of God, what is the purpose of God? The purpose of the Most High, I'm talking about Elohim, is to create worlds, new life, and to keep balance and the natural order of things within the cosmos on this side of the black hole. You go on the other side of the black hole, there's some other being, different than Ra or Anu. Some other beings controlling that shit. But on this side, it's Ra or Anu. He has to control the balance of things. And when I say he, I'm meaning him and his wife, Anu and Antum. There's always a male and female. It's not just a man sitting on doing nothing. Just like your prime minister has to run your country or your president, the Most High has to run the cosmos. They have State of the Union addresses. They have an Oval Office on the 9th density where only certain beings can even go vibrate up there. You can't even come up there unless you're one of the Most High sons or one of his wives or one of his 24 thrones, who is the 24 elders mentioned in Revelation. I think it's chapter 5. It tells you about there was 24 thrones around the throne of the Most High. And that's his council. And 12 of them are disagreeable and 12 of them are agreeable. Just like if you go in the House of Lords or you go in Congress and you see two sides in the House arguing their case. Yo, we don't like humans. They're shit. Nah, we think we should give them a chance. Rare. And who says, yo, I've listened to both of you. This is what I decide. Bam. It's in your book, Bible. It's in your Psalms 82:1. It says the Most High El, the mighty El, stands in the congregation of the gods and judges among them. So he's in a group of gods. That's why in the beginning you can have gods talking to gods. Yo, let us make man in our image. Otherwise, tell the pastor to make it make sense. They trying to make it something what it's not. They trying to tell you 2 and 2 ain't 4, it's 3. Yeah? Yo, this is God talking to other gods. It's Enki and the first 50 Anunnaki say, yo, let us make man in our image. You understand what I'm saying? So the Most High is in a group of gods, just like it says in Psalms 82:1. We used to know all of this shit before they washed us out with these religious fictions, yeah, and these dogmas and half-truths. Yeah? So they have all of that. We are the peace treaty. That's why we've always been being protected as humans. There's beings that fight for us, you know. When we think about all this alien shit, we always think about the evil ones. What about those who have kept us running since the beginning? Because if it was that easy, then we would have been ended long time ago. Reptilians or whoever else would have came here and yammed us all off or killed us all out, or something just licked the world and destroyed it long time ago. Yeah? There must be something here guarding this shit to make sure it carries on. No matter how mad it seems with what evil is going on and stuff, there's great things coming. This is just the birthing pains. Because all of this was written down that, you know what, you lot are so hard-headed, you're going to go this way. But if you stay on it and you endure to the end, you'll get the crown of eternal life after all. The Most High will give it to you. You understand? And that's what's going on now. You're going to see people falling at the hurdles. All of us ain't written to make it to the end. Most of us is going to trip up somewhere. The purpose of God is to create new life, worlds, build planets. That's why they call him in the Bible the architect. When you go into the Matrix, they say, oh, the architect and the oracle. Yeah, the architect, like masonry, the grand architect, God, who created and built. This is literal. You go back to the Anunnaki science and the Egyptian science, they tell you, yo, Ra builds worlds. They have technology where they build you a whole fucking planet. build you a solar system. If you got the P, they got money and everything up there too, you know. They'll build it for you and tow it to where you need it. Yo, your new planet's ready, yeah? This is how much it costs, or this is the terms of the contract. Bam, live in peace, bro. This is the role of the Most High. He has to fix things. When there's wars in the heavens and all of that shit, why has he got an army? If God's all loving, it says, yo, they call him the Lord of Hosts. A host is an army. He hosts the armies. Why has heaven got an army? What do armies, what are they for? War. Okay, so why has heaven got an army? I thought heaven don't have wars and shit. Why does God need an army for heaven? Or the army of the heavens, which is called the fleet of Anu, which is led by Amun-Ra, or murder. You see what I'm saying? But they're not telling you this. They're giving you a fairy tale. They're telling you Jesus going to float down some white hippie with pink cheeks and that. Yeah, with some hymn song playing. His hands on the shoulders of two angels in Damascus. That's some bullshit, man. The Christ consciousness coming back in each and every one of us. The Horus consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I ask people in the comments, is God all-knowing? Really? Why is he asking Adam, where art thou, Adam? Where are you? Adam and Eve are hiding in the garden, you know. They've had to say, yo, get a leaf, cover your shit. God's asking, yo, where? Yo, Adam, where are you? Didn't God know where he was? Before you said God's all-knowing. Did God know Adam was going to be lonely when he made Adam just a man? This is what the Bible's saying. He made Adam, and Adam was lonely. So he thought, fuck, man, shit, this guy's lonely, you know. I'm going to make a woman for him. So God made him a mate. Didn't God know before? Now, hold on. If you make just Adam on himself, he's going to get bored. Like, the fuck is this? Yo, I need some company. Didn't God know that before? You said God's all-knowing. Did God know Adam and Eve was going to sin? And if he did, why did he punish them? And if he didn't, then he isn't all-knowing. And if you say, oh, he's testing man, then he ain't all-knowing. Because you can't know how man's going to end up and then still test man. Do you see the contradictions here? This is religion for you. This is what I'm trying to show you. If you read the Bible properly, carefully, and go back to the original languages and dissect it, you'll think, what the hell? Someone's trying to have my... Oh, someone's pulled the wool over my eyes. You understand? Why is there sin in the world? Why is there evil? Why did God create this serpent? Why did God create the devil? Genesis 3, verses 1 to 16. Why did God put enmity between man? I thought it would have been the devil. Show me somewhere where the devil killed someone in the Bible. I can show you many places where God killed people, even his own Israelites, just because they refused to worship him. Some of them ran off and worship another deity. They're like, yo, I'm worshiping Baal, man. You're shit. Yo, and this guy's got so angry, he's going to wipe man out. I'm killing all of you niggas because you don't want to worship me. Yo, God's got issues. Your God. It's not my God. Yeah. So these Nephilim came down here, and they are the cause of all of these false religions. You understand? And that happened in the days of Jared. Yeah. When you read when you're going through Genesis, by the time you get to the story of Jared, that's when this Nephilim thing happened, and 200 fallen came down and descended on Mount Hermon and ran down into the Nile Valley and took Cushite women and bred with them and made hybrids like these Gilgamesh and them. You see them digging up now, these Anakims, these Nephilims they find in Iraq and shit. Like, bastard, this is King Gilgamesh. This is exactly like my man's tomb. Soon as they found that tomb, 1 week later, that man had to run off because the war in Iraq has started all of a sudden. Oh shit, they found my man. Yo, make an excuse. Okay, oil, Saddam, yo, let's go. Yo, war in Iraq. I'm talking about the first war in Iraq in the 90s. Yeah? And they went and took everything they could to hush up what really happened and take the stargates and shit. Yes, stargates, portals. Yeah? And then they had to go back there because there was shit that they never found and that was left. They had to go back and retrieve it, run up in the museums and everything looking for that shit, until they find it underneath the temple of Nana Sin. I think it's in Mosul. Yeah. So you can even see that even on Mars, there's monuments. Whether you see it as the world Mars from the 𝆥𝆥𝓆𝓚𝓃𝓅𝓏 map, or the Mars, the planet in the cosmos, they show you, yo, this thing's got pyramids on there. And they set at 19.5, the sacred geometry angle, the same as the Giza Plateau here on Earth. You understand what I'm saying? And they've got a 5-sided pyramid too. And they've even got a face, a sphinx, and a face, and the Inca city and Peru city, and the site's called Cydonia. And then on the other side, yeah, is what's called Elysium. Yeah, and we've also seen it on the 𝆥𝆥𝓆𝓄𝓃𓃅𓃝�𓁏 map. You understand, with the Eridania and Elysium and everything in that surface world called Mars. So there's a link there. You see what I'm saying? And this is where these 200 Nephilim came from. They was Igigi. They weren't supposed to even come to Earth. They was manning the crafts that was shipping the gold from Mars back onto Nibiru. It was being shipped from Earth to the moon and to Mars, and then from Mars to the Nibiru. That's what the stories of the Sumerian tablet story is saying. Yeah, so these ones on Mars saying, yo, look what's going on Earth. We ain't got no women here. It's just 200 of us. We're all starving for women. We ain't had sex or nothing. We're dying out. Fuck this. We're going down there. I don't care what no one says. Yeah, and it was Enki that first stirred them up to go down there, because he was already having wives from Earth, making them and having them. And so was Amun-Ra. Marduk, Amun-Ra married a woman named Sarpanit, yeah, who was an Egyptian woman, human. She won an Anunnaki. So his son Nabu, where you get the word Nabi, from where you get the word prophet, Nabi, Nabiyuna, Nabiyin. That's a Semitic word meaning news bearer, prophet. That comes from the son of Amun-Ra, Nabu, who was going around propagating in Babylon saying, yo, it's the reign of Amun. It's the reign of the Ram. And they went and took over Babylon and everything. Egyptian gods ran up in Iraq and shit. Read Zachariah Sitchin's Earth Chronicles. He will give you all the references for that. Yeah. And then, as I said in the last live, Richard Hoagland exposes all that Martian stuff. NASA tried to say he never worked for them, but he exposed them, and now you can see most of what he said, or all of it, is confirmed. It's kind of looking like he was telling the truth all the time, just like Bob Lazar. You see what I'm saying? And the face on Mars is the face of Alalu. He was banished to Mars after Anu and them smashed up Pumapunku and Oletantebu and Sacsayhuman. They smashed it up and said, yo, you're banished, mate. You can go and die on Mars. So he went to Mars, and the monument was, when he died, because someone was with him. I can't remember what his name was. I think it's Ningerzu. And they made a monument and buried him to commemorate it. And then when the human project started, they restructured that face and turned it into the face of Kadmon, or the face of Adam. And that's why NASA don't want to admit it. Yeah, but you got people like Richard Hoagland. If you go and Google him, he'll give you all the information you need to know on that. Yeah, they used there was a war on Mars, a civilization on Mars, and a war broke out because it was one of the Greys colonies, one of the Greys worlds. A war broke out between the good side and the bad side. Like I said, the reptilians hybridized them. So you get the Ramadians versus the Markabians, and they let off a nuclear explosion that stripped Mars's atmosphere off it and left it dead. Yeah, and that's why when scientists say they took samples from Mars and tested it, they say, yo, the isotopes are so high, the only way it can be that high is some kind of nuclear thing was let off here, and that's why it looks how it looks. You understand what I'm saying? So these Nephilims come from Mars. There's evidence of human civilization left on Mars, yeah? And remember, I'm saying this knowing that that's for the people who do believe in that solar cosmology crap, yeah? I particularly don't. I think it's a simulation. I'm not saying there's not something there that we see, because it's a simulation, but I don't believe that's real. I believe that's the illusion. I believe the 𝆥𝆥𝓆𝓄𝓃𝓅𝓃 map is what's real, and Mars is looking more like how this world looks, just a flat surface world in its own dome. Yeah, I don't really go by none of that cosmological shit, other than the fact that yes, it's an illusion, and someone has put us in a simulation and an illusion, and we've been told that it's real, and all of this shit is real when it's not. Nigga, I feel like the Truman Show. Yeah, so I'm about to finish, yeah? So yeah, the Draconians bully everybody else down here because there's parts of the outside of the Great Dome that they can't venture outside of, yeah? Other beings can. There is other beings that know about outside of the dome in the unknown worlds. They just leave it as black because don't nobody know about it. But there are higher beings, higher density beings that make all the gods in the Bible and stuff look like dummies, yeah? That have gone to that higher realm. Yeah, but when this war on Mars stripped Mars of its atmosphere, there was human populations there, and they were moved to Earth. And a lot of the science programs, the genetics, they were injected into dolphins. the genes of humans were injected into dolphins and brought to Earth with the dolphins. The dolphin is not a Earth animal. It comes from Vulcan, from Maldek, and there were some of them on Mars. So they brought them from Mars to Earth, and that's how you get dolphins. And that's why they're so close with your ass. If you drop in the water, they'll try and save you because they remember. They're smarter than your ass is. Their memory's better than yours. And they remember who you are, what you are, everything about that project. And if you drop in the water and there was a shark or something trying to eat you, you'll see the dolphin kick in, say, yo, that's my cuz, and fight to the death to save your ass. You get me? So yeah, Enlil is Yahweh and Tammuz is Yahawashi. And that Yahawashi became the Jesus of Christian religion. And that's why Tammuz's name is still all up in the Bible, in the book of Ezekiel and other places. And it's still on the Jewish calendar as one of the months, which is called Tammuz, which the Jews, they don't believe in Jesus. They think he was false, Joshua. They say, yo, we waiting on our Messiah, Tammuz. Ask a Jew if he's true, he'll tell you, yeah, that's our Messiah. They worshiping a Babylonian Messiah. Yeah. And even the Jewish calendar is the same calendar of Nepal. It's Enlil's calendar from Sumeria, from his bird tower. Go and Google that as well. Don't believe nothing I've said to you here. I know what I speak and speak what I know. I know if you take the time to go and research these things that I've told you, you will come back as a bastard. You ain't told me one lie. You know what you're talking about. Yes. So all of this religious shit is an Anunnaki control spell. Remember, there's a faction of Anunnaki who have an evil agenda. Anunnaki is just a title. So even in the Navigator who crossed the ice walls, you will hear them speaking about the Anunnaki in negative terms. They're speaking about negative Anunnaki who work with the custodians. Like I'm telling you, Enlil and them work on the Galactic Republic and work with other disagreeable beings to sabotage this project. And because if they sabotage this project, they can use this Earth as a food source. But to do that, they have to keep you in the lowest vibration. If you vibrate into a God-like being, then they can't eat that light. That light will poison their ass. Did you see in the Matrix when Agent Smith tried to change Neo and he changed him and Neo's light just poisoned him? He just blew up. Like, yo, they can't eat that light. They can't vibrate on love. They're blue bloods. They're recalcitrant. They don't vibrate with love and emotion or none of that stuff there. So they don't understand it. You can weaponize that against them. We don't have to fight them with war. If we all weaponized our love and started loving one and each other and saying, yo, this is our religion, fuck race. We're all on a chicken farm. There's more to the world than Africa. There's more to the world than Europe. There's more to the world than America. People out here, I'm American, I'm not black. I'm this, I'm Jew, I'm Muslim, I'm nigger. I'm a sovereign man. That's what I am. I'm a sovereign man. Yeah? And I am my own authority. Yeah? And we need to get back to the common law and the sovereign law of us and stop running off this maritime bullshit. None of the people are just running around like chickens. Yeah? So I thought, let me just do this part 4 for you guys. Let me see if there's any questions, because I think I've said everything I need to say. I think I've said enough for this. So let me see if there's any questions and I'll try and address it before I go, yeah? Because I deliberately said, let me do this first and eat after, because I can concentrate better. Shout out to everyone that joined the live and that benefited from this. If you have benefited from this already, I'm glad. Then my job's done today, yeah? And hopefully you will go away from it with notes and go and verify and confirm that for yourself, yeah? So when peace finally comes, this is Joey. So when peace finally comes, it won't need to be, hold on, it won't need to be hidden when the Most High comes. No. So all this stuff about the alliance or these people are going around locking up pedophiles, Trump and all this, but they have to do it on a shush. Nobody knows. Oh, shh, yo, they're behind the scenes. Look, that's bullshit, man. All that QAnon stuff. I put it in my book, Coronation. I exposed them in 2020. Said that QAnon stuff's bullshit. Remember Trump's brother? Before they got him, before he died, all that Robert Kennedy, oh, Trump is going to drain the swamp. They tricked you. Humans are gullible. We're really gullible over and over. How do you think we've had so long, 500 years of this bullshit or 400 years of this bullshit, man? We're gullible. We fall for it. Oh, Trump's going to save everybody. Trump's Jesus. That means you ain't going to do nothing. Because we really believe that Trump and them are around here arresting pedophiles behind the scenes. Nigga, when my God comes to do his thing, ain't no behind the scenes, nothing. You either get down or lay down. That's how they're rocking. Because the Anunnaki are very stern. Even the good ones. They ain't got time. They ain't got time for bullshit. They're very stern. Like if you go back to the story of Lot. When Lot was messing around in Sodom and Gomorrah, and he's dragging his feet, and they just gripped him by the hand and beamed him to it. Yo, you're outside the city, you better go. You're dead, rude boy. You're taking the piss out of man. We come here to mash up the city, bro. You get me? No, we're not really in 2023. We're in 1572. Pope Gregory changed the calendar from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. The Julian calendar was already wrong. And then they added 4,000 years to the timeline with the fucking Gregorian calendar. Do you understand? So even when you see when they say like 1809 or 19, that 1 in the 18 or 19, that's not even a 1. That's a letter I. So it was really I, 819. So it would be the year 819. You understand? So we're not in natural time. And then you have things like the Philadelphia experiment, where they went and created multiple timelines. And through doing that, it threw the earth off, because you've got artificial time, clock time. Then you've got natural time. Then you've got cosmic time. All of them don't work together. Like, let me give you an example. I'll take you back to black people time, because we're the first, okay? Your time starts with a second. And then your second, 60 seconds, go into 60 minutes. And then 60 minutes make an hour, yeah? And then, so your shit's based on 6, which is called a sexagesimal system. Yeah, base 60 system. Yeah, and then you have 12 hours a day and 12 hours a night, 24, which is again a multiple of 6. Yeah, but ours, we had 1,000 moments in every first. Because you have to have a first to get a second. How can you have a second without a first? And then we had 100 firsts, yeah, in every second. And then we had 100, not 60, 100, yeah, first, yeah, in every minute. And then 100 minutes in every hour. Then we have 10 hours a day and 10 hours a night. Yeah. Then we have 30 days a month. So it work out to 360 in our year. It's a perfect circle. We didn't need leap years. We didn't need to add 5 days and an extra friggin' leap year every 4 years. You guys had to do that. Well, actually, Imhotep and them did that after the timeline change. They had to adjust the calendars. So they first did that. They used that science. These custodians took that and created their own Gregorian calendar and added on 4,000 years to the timeline, yeah? But this is the way I put it in my book, because that's a lot to take in, yeah? We're off 8 years. So anything that was supposed to be happening in 2012 with the Mayan calendar, that didn't happen until 2020, and we've seen what happened. The earth shut down, and it ain't been the same since. It's the end. It's the beginning of the end already. We're on the trek to 2030 now. And that's what the Mayans was talking about. But when 2012 came, because people didn't understand that, everyone's like, oh, that Mayan calendar was bullshit. And make a note, it's not a Mayan calendar. It's an Olmec calendar. The calendar came from the Olmecs. And the Mayans inherited it from them. But they don't tell you that because the Olmecs look more than I do. So they don't want to touch the Olmecs. They don't want to give them no light. It's a Mayan calendar, according to archaeology, yeah? The Mayans themselves were black people. They weren't Indians like how you've been told. Yeah, remember they do this with everywhere. The Egyptians weren't black, the Mayans weren't black, the Olmecs weren't black. Yo, no one's black. Jesus weren't black. No, there's no black aliens. They have to tell you this all the time. Yeah. Anyway, so I hope that answers your question. You ain't even got a name, so I don't even know what to call your ass. The jinns ain't playing games. They're really working hard. They're not. What book do you read from? The Book of Life. That's at 𝆥𝆤𝆓𝓄⃗𓃢📏. You find the details if you go through the videos on the page. So is Enki a good Anunnaki, and is the tall whites, are they evil too? Enki was turned agreeable, yes. He didn't start as an agreeable, but he turned agreeable. And as I've said in this live, there's 3 natures to every being. So if you're asking me, are tall whites evil? Some of them are and some of them ain't. Go back to what I said about it in the live. And you won't even ask that question. Respectfully, where do you get your knowledge from? I get it from God. I was given it to bring to you. How to go outside from the chicken house? Well, that's the thing. It takes unity. If all of us unify our forces and resources and plan, plot and strategize, I'm sure, as smart as humans are, we could come up with an easy way to just exit this chicken farm. But we wouldn't be just left to go. We'd have to fight our way out of this bitch. So you'd have to be prepared to fight. That's all the questions. So I'm gone, yeah? I'm not even going to linger. Shout out to everyone who joined in, whether you agree with what I'm saying or not. I'm not here for nobody's agreement. I'm not here to make you understand. That's not my job. My job is only to deliver the message. Your job is to understand it. Peace.